Hello guys, welcome back to the another episode of Supermarket Simulator C++ series. This is a brand new chapter of Computer Widget. In this chapter, we are going to get started and create the basic UI, basic to advanced UI of the computer widget along with the background functionality. We are going to bind the UI and the C++ code. In the previous lecture, we have created widget interaction and also object interaction system where we are able to interact with 3D widgets and we can click them using our left mouse click to interact with those widget buttons. In this lecture, let's get started and start creating our computer interaction, interactive computer actor. Firstly, I'm going to open my demo project. Let's observe few things. Ignore this box for now. I'm going to show that. So we have a 3D model of monitor and the same 3D widget, whatever we saw, buttons, two buttons, it is similar canvas panel attached to the monitor model. Then, and you can see there is a crosshair. When I click my left mouse button on the monitor, you see there is a transition of camera from player camera to computer camera and I'm not able to move. I'm spamming my WASD. I'm not able to move. And if I move my mouse, I'm not changing my yaw direction, which is look around. Only the cursor is moving. And let's observe few things. Firstly, we see a wallpaper, a taskbar and app icon. In the background image there is an app icon and on hover you can see it is the green icon is going transparent, and in taskbar these buttons are not clickable, they are just icons, and on the bottom right there is time and date just like we have in our own computer, and we are able to interact or move our mouse around the monitor. Now let's see, when we click cart menu, you see a menu is being opened which is called market, and it has let's call this item cart item for now, and there are one single type of cart item for now. Later on we'll add multiple cart items, and there is a cart here. When you add an item to cart, and you can see when you increase the amount is updated, and when I click on cart, add to cart, you can see here the cart price is updated, and when I open the cart you can see let's call this cart purchase list or cart purchase item. Okay, now we see whatever quantity we have given there, it is updated here and with price and total price calculated, and you see few text here, order price and shipping price, total price, the balance amount, whatever current amount the player holds, and the remaining after buying this, that is calculated here, and a purchase. Let's not purchase for now, it is yet to be figured out. That's because it is very complex. To do that we need to create scheduling system. We'll come to that later. So for now in this episode, let's create the background image, taskbar and dummy text for date and time, and an app icon. Let's do that for now. I'm going to close the dummy project and also dummy projects Visual Studio. Okay, now we have already created our custom user widget base. Let's create another class, SMS user widget base. That's right, let's click that, and I'm going to name it as computer widget. I'll place it inside user widgets. Create class. Once the Unreal Engine is compiled, I'm going to click reload all, and I'll also remove the default comments in CPP and header files. I'll compile once, Control B. Okay, now let's note them down. what we are going to do, first we'll create a computer widget. First create computer widget, then create a Windows wallpaper, then taskbar with Windows and search icon along with dummy date and time. Then lastly we'll add create market icon with dummy panel. Let's call that panel. Okay. So first step is done. We have created our computer widget from SMS, a user widget base. Now let's create a Windows wallpaper. I think I've already compiled. Let's compile it again just to be sure. All right. Now let's create a blueprint for our computer widget, user widget. We no longer need dummy widget, but for now let's keep that for reference just in case if you need that later. Let's create user interface. Select the computer widget, select bp underscore computer widget. Okay, this is a 2D widget, just to be clear, which has a canvas and all. I'll arrange my screen resolution to be 1920 by 1080 as it is the standard 16:9. I'll add a canvas panel. If you don't know what canvas panel is, go watch my previous video where I have explained the basic of canvas panel, which is anchoring system. All right, now we have the canvas panel. We need a background image, and in your Windows, the background image, let's see this, the background image is actually overlapping under the taskbar. You don't want that to be separate. Okay, so let's add, firstly let's add an overlay. You want this overlay to be anchored, which should be all along the way. It should fill all the area we have in the resolution. Now inside this, I'm going to add an image, and this should fill also. I'll call this image as Windows BG for background, Windows background. And then we need a taskbar, right? Let's give a size box into our overlay, then size box to be bottom align vertically, then fill width. Let's give height override of 50 or 75. That should be good. Okay, now inside the size box I'll add another image. Actually, do we need an image? Let's add border. That should fill, and color let's go with the blue. Okay, we're not able to see that. Let me see why. We're able to see an image but not the border. Well, let's go with border for now. I'll try to bring up around dark blue, navy blue, where our Windows XP has dark blue, kind of navy blue taskbar. Okay, we have kind of taskbar area ready. Now I'll replace this image and I'll rename this to be taskbar BG for background. Okay, now we have the Windows wallpaper area and the taskbar area ready. Next, we need icons in the taskbar. First, let's finish off the taskbar, then we'll get back to background area. Inside this, I'm going to add a horizontal box. Okay, this is an image, you cannot have that. Let's remove that, add an overlay inside the size box. Then I'm going to add image inside the overlay, and inside the overlay let's add the horizontal box. I'll fill it. Now inside the horizontal box we need 1 2 for Windows search icon, Windows logo icon, search icon, then there will be space in between, then at last date and time. Okay, let's create size boxes. One size box with the width override of 100. Actually, let's not give any width override. I'm going to duplicate another, then another. First two should be auto, then third one will be fill because it is going to take all the center area. Then one at last without fill. Now first let's go here, Windows icon size box. Inside this let's add an image, and for this size box let's give height of 75, not height, sorry, width of 75. That should bring up a square, perfect square. And let's give padding of 5 or 10. That should be enough. Let's keep adding to horizontal box instead of size box. We gave padding of 10, so we need to reduce this 10 so that it will be square. No padding for the image, or we can even give padding for image to skip this issue. It will make sure it is kind of square. I think 5. Let's go with 10 only. Let's not brag it much. Let's add another image and padding of 10 for this size box. I'll rename it to Windows search size box. Width of 75. Let's do this for this also, 75. Yeah, it is square now. I was wondering why it is not square. We have changed that to 65 instead of 75. Yeah, and at last we need an vertical box inside this size box. That's because the date and time is stacked vertically. Above will be time with AM PM and time, then below will be date. Let's do same. I'll add scroll down and search for vertical box, add a vertical box, and for size box let's give width of 120 or 150. 150 is fine. And in the vertical box let's add 2 text. That's it. We just give some dummy date and time. Let's give 12 00 12 or 10 AM. Justification to be center. Then for the date let's give 1/1/2024. Justification to be centered. I'll remove the bold for both of these. I'll put back to regular or light. Light is fine. Okay, and size, this is fine. Compile, save. Now here we have a basic layout of task manager. We'll give the images very soon, and inside this for now let's do it little bit darker so that I'm able to see what is happening. Here we need an app icon. We can manually place an app icon here, or you can create a grid and or vertical and horizontal boxes. For now, let's do. Okay, let's name the size box as task bar. Then this will be whole desktop. Let's rename this overlay as desktop, and this background will be inside that, and add another overlay. This is going to take all the area, so what we can do is give padding of 100 in the bottom, maybe 75. Yes, so we are going to work inside this overlay. We'll rename it to be wallpaper area. Naming is completely personalized, so one can rename it as however he remembers it, but make sure you name them properly so that you won't face any difficulties later on understanding what that variable is or what that component is. Okay, inside this there is something called uniform grid panel. You can try with that, or wrap box is also there, but for now let's simply do a vertical box. Center, not center. Let's give padding of 25 or 50. Okay, before that let's give a size box also. I'll remove the padding for vertical box. Then for size box I'll give 50 padding, and height override, let's give it 720. It can be more. 1080 will be whole resolution. Okay, yeah, we can go with 1080. That's perfect. And width override of 150 or 100. Let's go with 150. We'll have extra space. Now inside this vertical box, let's give another size box, and size box height and width will be 100 by 100, 100 by 100. And padding from top only. We do not need all sides. Let's give 10. It is less when compared with the left and right. We'll try to bring the same length. 20 or 15. Yeah, 15 is fine. Inside the size box, let's give button instead of image. Inside this button we can give an image and give it that to fill without padding. Padding is 0. It is still not taking the whole width. That must be, there is no padding here. Okay, let's do something. We'll remove the image, and for button let's give top padding of 15. Not for button, sorry, for size box. Okay, we'll place the images later, which will be just in a few moments. Now the button is ready. Let's rename few things. Let's call this app area. This size box will be market button. This is not a button, this is just a size box. Market button size box. Now this will be market button. Save, compile, and save. Okay. Now we need images. So I'm going to provide these images for you. These are all the assets which we are going to use in this project. Whatever icons, whatever models we use, some we are going to create our own in Blender. So this project will also, this series will also include basic Blender tutorial. You can follow that as well, or you can simply download the models we want. Now I'll import assets. I'll create a new folder for assets. This is not the one. And this is the Windows background. I'll drag it and XP logo. Then Windows logo. This is Windows 11. We do not need that. We do not need that for now. I'm going to delete the Windows underscore logo. We need this one, search. Don't worry, you're going to get all these assets through Google Drive or OneDrive. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is select all these whatever assets you have imported. Right click and asset actions. Edit selection in matrix properties. Inside this there should be something called compression settings. Select user interface 2D and save. With a change, correct. So that's all we need. Now let's give icons one by one. In normal, in the button first I'll give for button expand style and normal. Inside the image let's search for shopping basket. Okay, and color will be white. And on hovered as well, let's give shopping basket and color will be little dark. There is a background border like thing. We can disable that. Let's go down on normal. We can remove this corner radius to be a width to be -1. And you can remove that, and you need to do the same for hovered as well. On hovered, outline settings, width -1, and on pressed, outline settings, width to be -1. Alright, compile, save. And for the background image, let's select this image, brush, image. Let's search for BG, Windows BG. Okay, so the tint is little darker. That's because of overlay, I suppose. Not the overlay. Yeah, it's this. Go to color and opacity and drag it all the way up, or you can simply, if it is too much of bright, let's give a V of 0.7 in HSV, not RGB. For RGB it should be all of them to be 0.7. Yeah, this looks fine for me. And then let's give image for Windows icon, brush, image, XP logo, and this should be search, where there is very little discomfort here. The XP doesn't have a such icon on the taskbar, but let's just continue. What goes wrong when we modify an old operating system in our game? Okay, so we have successfully created the basic Windows home or desktop UI. Let's test this out in game. Firstly, let's drag. Okay, we need to create. Firstly, let's create an images folder. I'll put all of these inside that. Move here. Then inside the blueprints in interactables, let's create a new interactable for our computer. Have we created computer interactable? We have not. So let's create that. New actor, interactable actor. Click next. Now let's name that as computer. Simply let's leave it as computer. I'll place it inside interaction system. Select, create. Okay, you can ignore these are very much of headache. Now let's create a blueprint for our computer. We'll type computer, then computer bp underscore computer. I'll open this. Okay, so we have the computer. Now let's do something. Okay, I'll clean out the comments. This is just a regular drill whenever you create a file. I wish Unreal allows us to do a setting where the default comments turn off. Maybe we can just turn them off instead of creating the comments. Give the plain code. That would be very much useful. It would save some minutes of time. Okay, first let's analyze what do you want. We in computer we have seen, let's leave the camera part, on click camera part. We saw a 3D model which would need a static mesh for placing that, and a widget, a 3D widget, and we'll come back to widget interaction very soon. So let's head back to computer.h. I'll close all other tabs. Now in the private, you property visible anywhere, category of let's say components. Now we need a static mesh. You static mesh component, which will be pointer computer mesh, and let's also create a getter for this. Force inline. So force inline is a force inline is a macro in C++ and also Unreal Engine, which makes the function definition to be inline. Instead of calling that function in the CPP file, what it does is whatever code we write inside this, it is going to, wherever we are going to call this function, it is going to replace that line with this code. So instead of calling control block, going to each header file, searching for the function definition and getting the data, instead of that, it is simply going to replace that with this code. Okay, it is very much useful for simple just returning something or calculating basic math. Using this is very efficient. Okay, let's create a constructor as well. That should be in public. A computer, let's create a definition. Now inside this, computer mesh equal to create default sub object. of type use static mesh. I'm going to name it as computer mesh. And okay, did something. Root component will be computer mesh. That's right. Let's compile. All right, and we do have the computer mesh. We can delete this default scene root. And now in the static mesh, we do not have a computer static mesh now. Let's leave that. And also we need a widget. So let's copy this. Instead of use static mesh, you use widget. Then computer mesh, instead of computer mesh, let's call computer widget. In the CPP, let's create computer widget. Will include blueprint slash user widget.h. Then we'll attach it to computer mesh. So computer widget dot attach setup. Okay, there is no function setup. Okay. What we can do? Why isn't there set up attachment? It is user widget. There should be one. Let's Google once. How to attach a user widget to an actor. Unreal C++. Not adding, we just need attachment. We can simply head back to our dummy project file. We'll search in computer widget. Computer, this is UI widget. We need interactable computer.cpp. Okay, we need to use U widget component. My bad. U widget component. We'll remove this and let's change the file data type here. Okay, something wrong with my Visual Studio. Yeah, let's forward declare that. Yep, that's my bad. Computer widget setup attachment to computer mesh. That's right. Compile. Yep. Now we have a widget and also mesh. Widget is attached to mesh as we have coded that. Okay, it's time to import 3D models. Okay, so let's head back to content manager and content browser. In assets, let's create a new folder called models and monitor. Inside this, let's import a monitor.fpx, import all, and we have the static mesh. Save all, close. In the static mesh, let's select the monitor. I'll press F to go there, and this is the monitor we are using for this project. We are going to, you will be provided with a link to download the model as well. Okay, in the widget, let's scroll down and select the widget class to be computer widget. Actually, there should be some called bp underscore computer widget. All right, you see the UI is completely you know, shrink down, maintaining its UI. Whatever we have placed, everything is shrink except the image is you know, very much shrink. The aspect ratio is messed up. In the draw size, let's place that 1920 by 1080. And now this is a task. There are two options which we can do. We can manually scale it down with the scale, or there are two issues with I think one issue, when we scale down using the scale, the UI is going to get blurred. So if you want to scale down, you need to scale down using draw size. Okay, so that will bring us to another problem, finding the ratio. So if we scale down like this, what is wrong? You see you can barely see that Windows logo. You see that is very much blurred off, and it is very pixelated, so you cannot scale down like that. What we can do is, let's divide this by 10. You see it is not 10, we need to increase that more. 1920 divided by let's say 30, not even 30. 1920 divided by 50, it is too much now. 1920 divided by 35, let's try that. 1080 divided by 35. Hey 1080 divided by 35. What is wrong here? Let's go to this, our dummy project. Let's open Interactive Computer in the viewport. This is static mesh. It is scaled up little bit, but that is fine. And for widget, the draw size is 1080, 1920 by 1080. And in what have I done here? I scaled down the scale after setting that to 1920 by 1080. D by 1080. I'll remove the snapping removed, then place it around here. And this is why I have scaled this thing a little bit up. .5. I think this is fine. There is a little gap to the left and the right. You can see there is too much of gap. We cannot proceed like this. So that is why in the dummy project, I didn't make the static mesh as the root component. Let's copy from here the scaling. For widget, it should be 0.005. Then for the mesh, it is 1.75 something. We still can't do that. So let's remove these. Compile, save. I'll create a scene component. Scene component root comp, and try not to rename this as root component, because such a named variable already exists. It is going to throw an error. we do not need tick. Let's put that to false. Root comp, create default subobject of using component, and set root comp to be root comp, root component to be root comp, and computer should be attached to setup attachment to root component. Let's compile. Okay, now that makes us this should be available now. Let's head back to content, blueprints, interactables, computer. Let's reload this. Yes, after reloading we can see the transform in the viewport. First let's give monitor in the widget bp underscore computer widget. The scaling is wrong from here. Once let's open the widget, blueprint widget computer bp underscore widget. It is set to fill screen. Okay, screen size, we haven't specified the screen size here. So if we change that to custom 1920 by 1080, now in computer there is no issue. Then why are we getting an issue in this project? And as you see here, there is no gap as well. Let me think. The rotation is changed. This is 1920 by 1080. Those are not child. I mean, they are not parented. Yep, that will make a difference. Computer widget setup attachment to root component. Now we need to reload it again. Reload, yes. Open full blueprint. Right now, computer mesh, monitor widget, bp underscore computer widget, and as you can see, it is already matching up. You just need to bring it right when it is appearing, and yep, that looks good for me. Compile and see. All right, now we have the 3D model along with the 3D UI is ready. Let's head back to widget, compile, save. Now let's drag that interactable into the scene. Let's rotate it 90. I'll try to bring it up to the player's head level. Let's play. You cannot see that for now. Let's head into player. widget interaction. I'll go with thickness of 0.2 and a sphere also to be 0.5. It should be very thin. Yeah, we need to enable the widget hardware input for computer widget. Let's head to here, not here, computer, and for the computer widget, enable receive hardware input, compile and save. This should interact with the widget interaction now, and that is not interacting. We'll figure out how to fix the widget interaction with computer in the next lecture. Alright, so in this lecture we have created a basic computer UI and created the same widget interaction as the previous test widget interaction, and in the next lecture we are going to get more into the computer widget and create menus, create cart items and all. That's it for the lecture, guys. Thank you for watching.